What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with what's next for Paddy Pimblett after UFC WIN. If Paddy Pimblett still had some doubters heading into UFC 314, they likely or shouldn't have any doubts that the baddie is a legitimate lightweight contender. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. Other than a few moments during some grappling exchanges, Michael Chandler had no answer for Pimblett, who beat, battered, and bloodied the renowned lightweight before finishing him in round 3. Not only did Pimblett appear to be as strong or stronger than Chandler, he bested the former Bellator champ on the feet in numerous exchanges, demonstrating that his striking has come a long way from where it was a couple of years ago. Dana White reacted to Paddy's performance during the UFC 314 post-fight presser by saying,
Paddy Pimblett showed tonight that he is the real deal. Beating Michael Chandler and beating him the way that he did, I don't know how you can doubt the kid anymore. But yeah, he's in that spot now where he's going to be fighting top guys, yeah.
Now that Pimblett has dominated and finished a top 10 ranked lightweight, what's next for the baddie? That's the big question. Following his victory, the charismatic fighter called for fights with any of the division's elite, although he made a point of telling, quote, sausage Arman Tsarukyan off. Given that Chandler was ranked number 7 heading into UFC 314, how massive a star Pimblett is becoming, a top 5 ranked opponent certainly seems likely, even though Paddy was ranked number 12. Could we see Dustin Poirier change his tune and agree to fight Paddy now that he cruised through Chandler? Or if the UFC is working on booking Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev, could the promotion look at Pimblett versus Charles Oliveira or versus Justin Gaethje? Both of those would be big fights. What do you think? And who do you want to see Pimblett fight next? As we're on the topic of Pimblett, after UFC 314, Paddy got into an altercation with Colby Covington backstage during an interview which was shared by ESPN MMA. Paddy Pimblett reacted to the altercation and went off on Colby for the whole situation during his post-fight interview by saying,
Mr. Irrelevant, trying to stay relevant, the whopper.
Yeah, what was that about?
Just come over, starting chat, didn't he, lad? Because he seen there was a camera. Come over and started to say, oh, you fight scrubs, like, lad, you... He said something about Chandler being 2-4 or something. Isn't he 2-4 in his last 6? Something like that. He's an absolute bum, lad. He's nearly 40. He's trying to stay relevant by jumping on me while if there's a camera there. Well, not jumping on me, just talking. I seen him a power slap the other week and walked past him staring at him, and he just looked at the floor like the little boy he is. When there's a camera there, he tries to say something, but he got terrored, know what I mean? We all absolutely terrorised him. Got told to leg it, tried to keep shouting, got told to button his shirt up the wall.
What's next for Alexander Volkanovski after UFC WIN? Alexander the Great Volkanovski reclaimed the featherweight crown tonight at UFC 314, further entrenching his status as one of the greatest fighters of all time. So what's going to be next for Alexander the Great? Or for the cash Drake is taking home after betting $545K on the legend? Early on, it looked like Volk could be headed for an early finish, but Lopes hung tough and began to land punishing shots of his own. While the bout was really entertaining and pretty close, after 25 minutes, it seemed reasonably clear that Volk was going to hoist the belt again. Dana White reacted to Volkanovski's win at the post-fight press conference. Here's what he had to say about the fight.
Yeah, I thought he looked incredible tonight. I don't ever remember Volk not having a good chin, and he's really not that old. Because I was surprised that Diego wasn't throwing more jabs and trying to stay on the outside and use his reach advantage a lot more, but you know, it was a good fight. Both guys, you know, dug deep, but there's no doubt about it that Volkanovski was one of the best ever. I mean, the guys like him and Pereira, and you know, they're always ready to fight and always willing to step in and do whatever it takes.
Dana also said that he'd love to give Alexander Volkanovski a title defense in Sydney, Australia, which he hasn't had the chance to do. Islam Makhachev also reacted to Volk's win by writing, "Congrats, legend." Leading up to UFC 314, Volkanovski said that he wanted to fight Movsar Evloev next, if he reclaimed the title. And one would think that that could be an option. The Russian is ranked number 4, he's never lost, and Max Holloway and Lopes are ranked number 2 and 3 respectively. That said, there have been rumors that the UFC is looking at having the newly signed Aaron Pico throw hands with Evloev next. Evloev reacted to Volk's win by writing, "You're a true champion. Now let's see what your word is worth." Volkanovski revealed that his hands are in a lot of pain after the fight with Diego Lopes.
Done more. You did hit him a lot with big shots as well. Were you surprised? Because he's a little.
Well, I know I must have because my hands bloody hurt. So yeah, must have landed some big shots.
Were you surprised he was able to take some of those?
Yeah, I mean, even that first round, had the ground and pound. I was like, oh no, man, this is where I can get the finish. But he did a great job to stop the takedowns. in the later rounds.
He also said that he's willing to fight Movsar Evloev in 3 months if he has no broken bones.
A few weeks ago, you told me in your gym that you want to back up really quickly. You want Movsar in 3 months. I know you've just had a 5-round war. Is that still the case?
Yeah, we'll see. I've got to have to look at a few things. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that there's no broken bones, hopefully. If not, let's get back in there.
Just lastly,
Let me heal up a little bit and then...
Yair Rodriguez beat Patricio Pitbull at UFC 314 and remains in the title shot mix, but Volk already defeated him in 2023. Then there's Lerone Murphy, who has gone undefeated in 9 UFC fights and is coming off a victory over Josh Emmett, but he was ranked number 8 heading into Saturday's card and could be a win away from locking up a title shot. But what do you think? And who do you want to see Volkanovski battle next? Diego Lopes broke silence on his UFC loss this morning on X by writing, "Always with my head held high, a smile on my face. I fell short last night. I failed in a few things. I'll get back to work, improve, correct the mistakes, and move forward. Thank you all for your support. As I always say, nothing happens." Merab Dvalishvili talks about Sean O'Malley rematch. Merab Dvalishvili will battle Sean O'Malley for the second time at UFC 316 in June. And according to the bantamweight champion, Sugar's gonna have a tough time recovering if he takes another L. Although O'Malley has not fought since he lost the bantamweight crown to Merab in September, and despite the fact he only defended the belt once, he's been tapped for an immediate rematch. While some have argued that O'Malley is getting a rematch because the first bout was close, others believe it's because Sugar is one of the promotion's biggest stars. And of course, some folks believe both of these reasons are why O'Malley is getting another shot at the belt so soon. Well, recently, Dvalishvili spoke with the Schmo, and when he was asked what's going to be the biggest difference between the first fight and the second, the Georgian star said this. "So now he's the challenger, I'm the champion. Now he has nothing to lose. That's his big chance if he finishes me or wins. That's his chance. If I beat him again, he has to go down the road and fight maybe in the street. No, I'm joking. He's not going to fight in the street, but he's going to lose his title chance. Maybe after loss, he's going to need at least 2 more wins or something like that. It's going to be too much for him." It's an interesting point from Merab, and really, he's not that wrong. Although O'Malley certainly won't be dropping out of the top 5 rankings if he loses, his path back to another title fight will be a long one, especially as Merab remains the bantamweight king. Further, there's no question that Sugar will remain a star, but his stock will definitely take a hit if he drops back-to-back fights. This is why some have argued O'Malley should have taken another fight before facing Merab again. Of course, if O'Malley wins, then the gamble will pay off big time. Could we see a trilogy fight? And speaking of Merab's next fight after UFC 316, the champion also told the Schmo he's hoping to fight 3 more times this year, including his rematch with O'Malley. And if that happens, that would mean that 2025 would be a 4-fight campaign for Dvalishvili. Do you think he can pull that off? And who do you see him fighting next if he beats O'Malley the second time around? Merab Dvalishvili heated altercation. Merab was seen on the streets of Florida sometime before UFC 314, where he allegedly asked a person on the street for directions. Apparently, the person giving Merab directions was trolling him and told him the wrong place to go. Merab didn't take this disrespect lightly, getting in the person's face and pressing them. He even feinted a takedown and had the person asking Merab to chill out. Here's the clip.
You want on Instagram?
No, what is your Instagram?
I mean, I want to.
But if you don't know, say you.
Yeah.
I think
He said he was trying to troll y'all.
Oh,
That's what I'm trying to say.
oh, dude,
That's what I'm saying.
bro. Yo, relax, dude. I literally live here. Relax.
You know that guy?
No.
What the hell?
What's next for Bryce Mitchell after UFC 314? Bryce Mitchell demonstrated his toughness and massive heart once again at UFC 314, but after getting submitted by Gene Silva, questions about whether he can be a top featherweight contender are going to make the rounds. Mitchell was unable to put his wrestling and feared top game to work in this fight, and as many predicted would be the case, Silva bested him on the feet in many of the exchanges. Ultimately, Silva put Mitchell away with a nasty looking choke, handing the latter his 3rd defeat in his last 5 fights. Now, of course, there's no shame in losing to Silva, who's one of the fastest rising commodities in the game right now. Further, Mitchell's other losses came against former featherweight king Ilia Topuria and one of the hardest punchers in the world, Josh Emmett. So it's not like Mitchell's been losing to unranked cans, but at the end of the day, serious cracks in Mitchell's game have been highlighted several times in his recent outings, and if he can't develop other offensive weapons and shore up his striking, Mitchell could have a tough time hanging with the best of the best at 145. Could the UFC tap Mitchell to fight Calvin Kattar, who has lost 4 in a row, but is still ranked in the top 15? Who do you want to see Mitchell fight next? After his UFC 314 fight, Bryce Mitchell released a video on his social media. Here's what he had to say.
Hey, I finally made it back to my room. I want to thank everybody for their support and let y'all know I'm doing just fine. Thank God he protected me. I didn't lose my teeth. I don't got no broken bones. So I feel good about that. And I fought as hard as I possibly could. I couldn't have fought any harder. I could have fought smarter. I'm going to go make some adjustments, but I mean, he put me to sleep. So I had nothing left to give. So I'm happy about that, knowing that I tried my best, but I got to get better. So that's just the lesson learned here, is I got to get better. And I really want to thank everybody who prayed for me, especially the people that fasted for me as well. Y'all mean the world to me. And I honestly, I really cannot believe how much support I've gotten. It is literally unbelievable. I've got thousands of messages, and if I don't message you back immediately or at all, just know that I love you. And I have never had this much outpouring of support. It's just crazy. It's been a whole crazy week, and I can't even put it into words. I really thought that I was going to win the fight. I 100% believed it, because I've just never had a fight that big before, and I was like, wow, this fight is out of nowhere, just got this much hype. God's chosen me to win this fight, but that wasn't the case, and I'm just going to keep fighting, and that's all I can do. So that's all we can all do. Anytime you take a loss, just learn from it and keep fighting. That's what I'm going to do. So I really want to tell y'all, A, I'm healthy, B, I love y'all, and I thank y'all. So y'all take care. Bye-bye.
Dana White and Hunter Campbell talk about influencer fighting. A lot of hardcore combat sports fans couldn't care less about influencers fighting, and some are even offended that social media celebrities step into the cage or ring. But UFC executives Dana White and Hunter Campbell apparently don't have any issues with it. Recently, White and Campbell sat down with Aiden Ross. White was asked how he feels about influencers fighting, and then they were also asked if they see it as a spit in the face for real fighters.
What do you think about influencer fighting?
I think there's always going to be interest in people fighting that people know, that have some sort of fame, because some people hate them and other people love them, and people are always going to be interested.
Is it a spit in the face to the professional part of
No.
it? No. Not at all?
Not at all.
I don't think so.
I've learned to just roll with it like the punches.
I'll tell you what the issue is.
Okay.
This is my opinion. My opinion is, it's not a spit in the face, but don't pretend that you are an elite level world champion.
Got
it. So when you see an influencer,
right,
and he's calling out a guy like Tio,
okay,
he's dedicated his entire life to becoming great at something.
Right.
Don't insult him by pretending that you're on the same level.
Right. Okay,
Be
I
honest
understand
about where you're at and what you're really doing.
Got it.
Okay.
So that's like me basically calling you out. Let's get in there. And I'm talking all the about you.
Campbell does make a solid point. It's one thing to throw hands with someone as a means to generate interest in your brand, make some cash, and or settle a legitimate beef at the same time. But it's quite another for influencers to think that they can hang with world-class fighters. What do you make of White and Campbell's comments here? And how do you feel about influencers stepping into the cage or ring? MMA community calls out Michael Chandler for cheating. The MMA community and Paddy Pimblett called out Michael Chandler for his dirty cheating tactics after his fight at UFC 314. Before the fight, Paddy said he would warn the UFC referee about his dirty tactics and even called him a dirty fighter.
Yeah, he's the nicest man in the world outside the cage, and when he gets in it, he's a dirty I probably will mention to the ref in the back, I don't want to have a ref that's just going to let me get rabbit punched in the back of the head consistently. As I say, Chandler's a real nice fella outside the octagon. In there, he's a very, very dirty man.
During the post-fight interview, Paddy said that Chandler punched him in the back of the head about 4 times in the first round. Paddy also claimed that Chandler might have kicked him in the cup on purpose to recover his cardio. It's important to note that Chandler's explanation for kicking Paddy in the cup was they both threw a kick at the same time. But here's what Paddy had to say after the fight.
He hit me with about 4 punches in the back of the head in the first round. Know what I mean? Nothing even got said to him. You never know, he might have kicked me on purpose because he needed a little break. And it was him that was gassing, not me. I felt fresh. So because of that, when he kicked me in the balls, it was a flush kick as well. It was me balls were still hurting when I said let's go. As I say, I knew he was tired. I could see he was tired, so I was like, I'm not giving him this breather so he can get all his breath back and swing a big punch at me. I just got right back into the action.
The MMA community was quick to chime into the conversation. And before we continue, we have a favor to ask. Help us reach 200,000 subscribers on MMA Zone by subscribing and turning on notifications for daily MMA content. Seriously, we rarely miss a day. Fish hooks, low blows, and strikes to the back of the head clearly aren't working. Look for Chandler to use a steel chair next fight. 3 things in life are certain: taxes and Michael Chandler cheating in a fight. Michael Chandler stays cheating. Not a Michael Chandler fight without some cheating. Chandler's a cheating piece of that not only juices but also intentionally fouls almost every opponent he faces. I'm happy to see him lose brutally. Chandler got what he deserved, the cheating. Nice seeing Chandler the cheat get beat up. This is payback for Tony, you cheating HGH fiend. Michael Chandler is so washed, he only hangs around and fights by cheating. This has been the case for years. Do you think Michael Chandler is a dirty fighter and does these things on purpose, or is it just a part of his fighting style? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.